All right, well, I believe I'm ready. Let's get out to the field and see what this thing will do. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Starting off today a little earlier than usual, but hey, that's all right. I've already had enough caffeine for 2 people and I'm working on more. We are still in the middle of harvest and Dad and Mom are going to be cutting beans today, but you and we're going to be doing something a little different today. So stick around and let's have a great day. All right, guys, well, I'm actually starting out today in this thing. It's been a while since I've been in it. Yesterday, we finally got the 2 farms that are going to wheat harvested. Fingers crossed, my goal today is to have those 2 farms planted in wheat. So it's pretty ambitious, but we're gonna see what we can get done. The only reason I'm in the sprayer to start out with is because this year here in the Midwest was a really heavy year for aphids, and our agronomist is worried about aphids tearing up the wheat once it starts emerging. So I'm going to put down a cheap insecticide before we even plant, make sure they're all dead, and that's just one thing I don't have to worry about later. All right, I'm getting impatient. That's enough fresh water. Well, I was going to mess with our water trailer this morning, but quickly realized we've got no water. Our pump hasn't ran since midsummer, or I haven't attempted to run it. We don't have the chemical yet, so I was going to have to make a trip into the local co-op anyway. So I figured I'm not messing with all that. I'm just going to run through, grab a hot load, and spray my 2 farms. Well, that was quick and easy. Literally 800 gallons of water, 1 gallon of insecticide. That's all I needed. And there goes Dad with my wheat seed. Got the co-op out here this morning spreading our fertilizer. That way, once he's spread, I've sprayed. Basically, once it's planted, it's ready to go all winter and we won't have to track the field at all. And just like that, finished with spraying for the day. It's crazy to think about it too, because what I just sprayed in about 2 hours took us all day yesterday to harvest. I mean, 2 completely different operations, don't get me wrong, but it's the amount of acres you can cover, the difference between the 2 is crazy. Time to switch modes from spraying to planting. Morning.
What'd you get sprayed this morning?
I had to spray canned fields and clodfelders with insecticide.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm ready to switch over and start planting.
Cool.
How was camping?
Oh, man, so much better. Last night I slept like a baby.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A little nicer being able to sleep in a little bit too.
Yeah, it helps when you take some drugs to initiate the sleep.
There she is. Got a few monitor things to work through, and I've got to find a globe to put on that. I may have to go back out and steal the one off the sprayer. But other than that, I think she's ready to fill a seed and get to the field. Somewhere in there should be just fine. Well, I can already tell I'm going to be way too close. Maybe I can make it work, though. No, that's not going to work. That's a little better. There we go. Start again. Well, I ended up saying screw the weight and just filled them both full because it's going to take more than one fill up anyway. Alright, so monitor, got to go in here, planting soybeans at the moment. Let's go ahead and change that crop to wheat. Change our population to 1.4 million. I will say, you definitely get a few more quizzical looks driving down the road in a plant with a planter in harvest season. Not your typical equipment you see. There's the rest of the crew. The mirror would get out of the way. To my field. Alright, so let's start with unfolding this thing. The last thing I've got to do is drop down with my master plant off and kind of drag through it and just double check my depth. So just double checking my rows, making sure they're all actually planting. That all looks good. Let's see what my I'm a little over, I'd say about 1.5 inches. I think that's a good starting depth. And got plenty of moisture in the ground right now. Let's put some seeds down. Left side. Yep. And right side. Hey, there we go. Well, that was a very long and stressful border to this field. It's always typical of starting a new operation. There's a dozen bugs, and well, these were all man-made, so I wasn't quite getting the population that I needed to be getting. My sensors weren't quite reading to the level that I thought they should have. And I kept getting alarms. Well, lo and behold, that thing over there, right there, is my generator. And that's what provides me a constant power supply to all the electronics. Well, when you don't kick that on, things don't quite get enough electricity like they should. Kicked that on and boom, all my problems went away. So if you can see that, we've done our border around our waterway, and now I'm working south, like painting across the screen, back and forth. Well, we're making progress. Got about 22 acres of this 37-ish acre field done. Everything's been running smoothly. So for soybeans, we pretty much plant anywhere from, some guys will plant as low as 130,000 seeds an acre. We typically stay upwards of that 150, 160,000. But now when it comes to wheat, it's a few more seeds per acre. As in like 1.4 million seeds per acre. Now, there is no way these sensors will come even close to registering 1.4 million seeds. So the way I check it, pretty much whatever it reads, it reads. I don't even worry about that. I just worry about, is it planting, is it not? Because I have metrics that show me those seed plates in there. I have a metric that shows me how fast the computer is telling them to turn and how fast they're actually turning. So as long as those two numbers line up, basically I can trust it that it's putting on as many seeds as it's supposed to, which is a lot. I got row 4 screaming at me saying it's not planting. Let's see if we got an issue going on. Well, I just went up to shut everything off so I could start diagnosing things without any blowers screaming in my ears. And I came back and look, it's full. So I'm just gonna guess something was plugging it and it finally went through. How you guys getting along over there?
Little at a time.
I was real enthusiastic.
You about done down there yet, or are you still milking that plant down there?
Oh, you know, taking my sweet time. I got 1 round left. And just like that. Well, just like that, and 2 hours later. Farm number 1's done. On to number 2. Well, they're making progress. Mom's waving. You guys can't tell. Check this out, guys. So it's back up to 91% now, but I have planted a lot of this field sub 80%, and that's my ground contact. Like, I don't like planting when it's under 97, let alone 80s. And some of the indros were 50s, 60s, 70s. And the thing is, I am maxed out on my down pressure. So we are still using airbags to make sure that these units stay in the ground. And I literally have over 120 PSI in the bags, as much as I can put in them. And the ground is hard enough that it is still pushing them out of the ground. Which is caused by two things. One, we're still really dry. But two, this field has been farmed when conditions aren't ideal, because it's a wet farm, for so many years that the compaction seems to be quite extensive. So that is probably one of the biggest reasons that we are tiling this next summer, so that we can start farming it under better conditions. And then once we do get it tiled next summer, we're definitely going to have to bring a ripper in here or something and get this compaction worked out and try and get this farm going in the right direction again. But that right there shows me that we are doing the right thing by putting wheat in here to tile it. Well, I'm beginning to think I'm running low on wheat. Started having several rows beep at me. That's a yes. But the question is, so I've got wheat from here to move over to here. Is that enough to get me my last 2 rounds? I'm gonna level them out, we're gonna find out. Alright, well, if you can tell, I've got 1 round, 2 rounds left. So we're gonna find out real quick if that's enough seed. I've got a bad feeling that it's not gonna be, but we're not gonna talk that way. So it definitely is gonna be enough. Well, I haven't even made 1 round yet and my low tank warning's already on. Well, pass and a half short. And now, because nobody else is at the shop, they're all out cutting beans, I'm gonna have to drive clear back to the shop, pick up 2 bags of wheat, and come all the way back for a pass and a half. But thank goodness I'm only a mile and a half from the shop. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and throw 2 bags in, and then I'm gonna throw a small stack of them on the planter, because I'm not coming back because I ran short a second time. Well, the camera died on me out there, sorry about that. But by the looks of the wheat in the tank after 1 bag, it's comparable to what was in it when I leveled them last time, so that should be more than enough to get me through. But I'm not taking any chances, which is why I threw those 2 extra ones on there. Those 2 bags were enough. Well, you know it was a long day when you start the video before sunrise and it ends well after sunset. And it was a long one, but at least it was a productive one. Got all of the wheat ground sprayed, spread, and planted. So that's 3 things now we can check off the list and don't have to worry about anymore. And in case you guys were wondering, the planet Venus actually spins in the opposite direction of Earth, which makes the sun rise in the west and set in the east. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.